Hey guys, Toy Marionette here. Today we'll be doing a out loud story of On the Ice Part 1. I'll make Part 2 later, and if I have to, I'll move to a different site and make it shorter. Record it and make it shorter. So let's get into it before we waste up time. Lavender pulled into the parking lot of the park, looking around before she got out. There was a small, quiet bit of snow on the ground, so no one, as she expected and hoped for, was at the park. She softly smiled to herself before grabbing her phone, ice skates, and her bag. She closed the door, making her way towards the lake, sitting on the bench that was outside the lake. She pulled off her shoes and put her ice skates on before going onto the lake. She stepped onto the ice. Within a few moments, she was skating around the lake. Her earbuds were in, phone in her pocket. After she made a few rounds around the lake, she started twirling, singing along to the song she was listening to. Zoot pulled into the parking lot of the park and noticed another car there. He sighed, hoping no one else would be there since everything was still covered in snow. It's only one person, he told himself. He got out and closed his car door before putting his hands in his pocket of his coat. He went over to the track that went around the park and the lake to walk a few laps, just to have time for himself. As he got closer to the track, he heard a voice, someone singing. Whoever it was had a most beautiful voice. They keep things loose, they keep things light. Everybody was dancing in the moonlight. He finally noticed a girl skating on the lake. The trick she was doing was very impressive to him. So instead of walking like he planned, he went over to the bench and sat down to watch her. Once he was seated, he noticed the light purple hair under a knit cap. He squinted, trying to see her face. Oh, that's Lavender, he told himself. Janice had introduced him to his sister about half a year ago, and he's seen her a lot of times since then. She continued singing, doing her tricks, not noticing him yet. It's a supernatural delight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Zoo had no idea she could sing well. He sat there, memorized. She was beautiful, talented. His thoughts were interrupted by a loud scream. He stood up quickly, noticing Lavender wasn't there anymore. He saw a hole in the ice. Lavender! He yelled, running to the ice. He fell once or twice, then almost fell again a few more times. But then he finally got to her. He looked in and could barely see the purple of her hair, but barely. He reached, laying down on his stomach to reach her, and finally grabbed her arm. He pulled her out, and his eyes were shut. He began compressions on her chest. She finally coughed up water. She let out a relief as she started shivering. Everything's okay. You're going to be fine, he told her as he took off his coat, wrapped it around her, picking up Ryder's style, and running her to his car. He gently put her in the back passenger seat and pulled off her skates before running around to get into the driver's seat. He turned on the heat all the way up, making sure the vents were towards her. He pulled her still shivering. He saw her still shivering, so he frankly pulled down his coat and grabbed his hoodie from the back seat, trying not to make it awkward, looking at her a little as possible. He took her wet sweater dress off of her. This is not safe for work. This isn't. This is safe for work style. Trying not to make it awkward, and looking at her as little as possible. He took her wet sweater dress off of her and put his hoodie on her. He pulled out of the parking lot and grabbed his phone before dialing Floyd's number. Zoot was speeding down the road when Floyd answered. Floyd, hello, Floyd, is the heat turned up? Zoot asked frantically. Nah, it got too warm in here. Turn it back up! Zoot yelled. It shocked Floyd, since Zoot never yelled. Tell Janice to make a bowl. Okay, dude, what? Tell Janice to make a bowl of soup, Zoot ordered him. Zoot, what the heck? Tell Janice to make a bowl of soup! Zoot yelled again. Okay, Jan, babe. Zoot said to make a bowl of soup. I don't know. Okay, she's putting it on. Thanks. Zoot hung up and threw his phone down. Eventually, he pulled into the driveway of the band's house. He went around and picked up Lavender Brightest style before running to the door aggressively kicking it for someone to open it. Still cold, Lavender said softly. I know, sweetie. We'll get you warm soon, said Zoot. And that's what we're going to read for part 1 of part 1. Goodbye.